Here are some tips of first things that you can do on Nothing Phone 3a after the initial configuration. So the first and most important, I think, thing that we can do is update our phone. So we're gonna go to settings, scroll all the way down and go to about phone, and then tap on the Nothing OS over here, and then tap on Nothing OS again in order to check if there is any update that you can install on your phone. You always want your phone to be on the most recent update available. If you didn't set up your Google account during the initial configuration, then of course it is recommended to do so, because we need to also update our apps, and in order to get apps or update apps we need to use the Play Store. Therefore, Google account is required, and if you want to do so, then what you need to do is go to accounts, passwords, passkeys, and accounts, and then over here you should be able to press add account, choose Google in order to set up the account and log in. We should also go to security and privacy, and the first thing that we can do is set up the screen lock, so you can create the password for your phone, and additionally you can also add biometrics such as the fingerprint. So here we need to choose a device unlock, and then here we have the screen lock. I have already set it up. We also have the fingerprint sensor. We can set up our fingerprint, we can scan our finger, and we also have the face unlock. Also, we have the theft protection, which is also crucial to check it out, because over here, for example, we can enable the theft detection lock, offline device lock, and over here we can go to find my device, which is crucial just in case you lose your phone or when it is stolen. And then you have the option to detect your phone, to localize it. Another form of protection that is worth considering is in more security and privacy, because over here we have Power Off Verify, which allows you to set up the password requirement every time you try to turn off or restart the phone. So you cannot turn off, you cannot power off your phone if you do not unlock your phone beforehand. So it is also crucial if you want to prevent other people from turning off your phone. We can also use Always On Display. This phone has Always On Display, and it can be found in lock screen settings. Over here, if you scroll down, you should be able to find Always Show Basic Info of Lock Screen, and here we can enable Always Show Basic Info of Lock Screen to enable Always On Display. You can also decide when you want to show AOD. In the settings, we can also go to customization, and if you choose layout, you have the option to add app names below app icons. So by default, we don't have app names in the home screen, we just have app icons, but you can of course enable that option and have the name of folders and apps. If you don't like the Google search bar at the bottom of the screen, then here you can also disable that as well. Now we're gonna go to battery settings, and over here we have the option to show or hide the battery percentage. So if you want to know exactly how much battery is left, you can of course enable that information over here in these settings. Then we also have battery health, which by default is set to smart charging mode, which is good enough. But if you want to, you can also set up the percentage limit by yourself, and we have three choices. We can set 70, 80 or 90%, which means that when you are charging your phone, the battery will stop charging at the selected percentage. There is also adaptive battery option, which is of course also recommended to use in order to limit battery for apps that you don't use often. Next, we're gonna go to display options, and over here we can enable and disable adaptive brightness, which is the automatic brightness of the screen. This makes the phone adjust the brightness of the screen depending on the light of the environment. So if you are outside on a bright day, then of course the brightness level will increase so that we can see your screen. And of course, if you are looking at your phone at night, then the screen will just decrease the brightness level. Besides that, we also have the dark theme, which is actually enabled by default. So what you can do is disable it over here if you don't like the dark theme, if you prefer the light theme instead. You can also create a schedule for dark theme so that it can be automatically enabled at a specific time of a day. And also by default we use gestures for navigation. If you prefer to use 3 buttons instead, Then we can scroll all the way down in the settings and go to special features, and then we can go to gestures and we can choose navigation mode. And over here we can switch to 3 buttons. Over here we have the setting icon that allows us to also change the position of the back button so that we can have it on the left or on the right side. We also have settings for gesture navigation as well. Besides that, we also have the screenshot gesture, where we can enable the option that allows you to use 3 fingers in order to capture a screenshot, and we have 2 options in total. We can swipe down from the top to capture a full screenshot, or you can press and hold with 3 fingers and then slide down in order to capture a selective screenshot. And then there is also the RAM booster that allows you to increase the amount of RAM, which is set to 2 GB by default. So if you want to increase the RAM, the amount of RAM, then of course we can set it to 8 GB instead. There is also a new look for App Drawer. This is still the default one, however I believe you are suggested to switch to the smart one. So if you changed to smart, or if you want to try the smart one, we can tap on these 3 dots in the top right corner, and then over here we have that smart option, or the default one. So the smart one resembles the app library from iPhone and devices, from Apple devices actually, but unfortunately there is no list of all apps sorted alphabetically. They are just stored in these categories automatically. So if you don't like it, then of course you can switch back to default. Besides that, we can enable and disable the app suggestions, which are at the top over here. So if you don't want them, then of course you can turn it off. And there is also an option that allows you to hide apps. So this is the place where we can hide apps that we don't want to be visible in the app drawer, and instead we can have them over here on this list by swiping right on in the app drawer. And that is pretty much it. These are, I believe, essential things that we can do on the phone right after the initial configuration. Oh, of course, I forgot about one thing, the app updates. So in order to check for app updates, you want to go to the Play Store, tap on your profile in the top right corner, and go to manage apps and device. And then over here, as you can see, we can find the list of apps that can be updated. We can update individually, or you can simply press update all in order to update everything at once. So now I believe it is everything that I wanted to show you. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and see you in my next videos. Bye.